In this video, we are going to discuss few topics from the chapter 8, that is circulatory system, from the book Concise Biology, class 10th. And the topic which we are going to discuss now is blood circulatory system. The circulatory system, it consists of heart, blood and blood vessels. Blood vessels means different blood vessels like arteries, veins and capillaries. Under this, the first topic which we are going to discuss is the heart. We will discuss everything about heart here. First of all, let's see the location of the heart. The heart is situated in the center between the two lungs, above the diaphragm. But its narrow end, which is roughly triangular, it is pointed towards the left side. Let's understand this with the help of an image. Here is the image in front of you. You can see with the help of a yellow cursor that this is the center of the body. The cursor is moving on the center line of the body, and you can see that the lower end of the heart is situated on the left side. This is the reason why it seems or appears the heart to be on the left side, because the contraction of heart is most powerful at this point, and this is a little left to the center of the body. But the location, if we say for the location is in the middle of the human body, and the lower end is pointed towards the left side. So we can say that the contraction of the heart is most powerful at this lower end, which gives us a feeling that heart is beating on the left side of the human body. The heart of a human adult is about the size of closed fist, that is 12 cm in length and 9 cm in width. The heart of the human body is protected by a double-walled membrane, and that membrane is called pericardium. The double-walled membranous pericardium is having a lubricant in it, which is called pericardial fluid. The function of this pericardial fluid is, when the heart beats, it reduces the friction during the beat, and this friction and this reduction in friction helps in the protection from the mechanical injury to the heart during beating. Moving on further, let's discuss the different parts of the heart, different chambers of the heart. In total, there are 4 chambers of the heart. 2 are in the upper position and 2 at the lower position. The upper position chambers are called atria, and the lower position chambers are called the ventricles. We can also call atria as the auricles also. The upper chambers, they are called atria or auricles, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Let's understand this with the help of a image. Here you can see the 4 different chambers of the heart. 2 are on the upper position, one is on the left hand side and the second is on the right side. And lower, again there are 2 chambers, one is on the right hand side and left, and the second is on the left hand side. The upper 2 chambers are called right atrium or left atrium. The lower chambers are called the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Here you can see with the help of the cursor, yellow cursor, you can see that the ventricles is having thick walls. Here, the ventricles are having thick walls. Now let's see. The ventricles are having thicker walls and the auricles are having thinner walls. The auricles are having thinner walls because its function is only to receive the blood from the body, and it has to pump it to the very next ventricles, and the distance is very small, so the walls of the auricles are thin, while The ventricle walls are thick. They are having thick muscular walls. The reason behind is they have to pump the blood to the longer distance. The right ventricle, it pumps the blood to the lungs for oxygenation, while the left ventricle pumps the blood to the farthest part of the body. Let's again discuss with the help of the image. Here you can see this is the right ventricle, and the blood vessel which will be emerging out from the right ventricle. This will transfer the blood only to the lungs for oxygenation, while this left chamber will transfer the blood to each and every part of the body. Means it will transport the blood to every single cell of the body. Moving on further, now let's discuss the different blood vessels which are entering or leaving the heart. We will discuss first the blood vessels which are entering the heart. The blood vessels which are entering to the heart are: first vessel which enters into the right atrium. The blood vessel which enters to the right atrium or auricle, these are two vessels, and the names are anterior vena cava and the posterior vena cava. Anterior vena cava and the posterior vena cava. Let's understand with the help of the diagram here. So here are the blood vessels which you can see with the help of the yellow cursor. This vessel is the superior vena cava, and it carries the blood from upper region of the body of the heart, including head, chest and arms. And this blood vessel, this is called posterior vena cava. You can also call it inferior vena cava, and it carries the blood from the lower position of the heart. Means it carries the blood from the abdomen region and the leg region. So these are the two. This one, superior vena cava, it carries the blood to the right atrium, and this one, inferior vena cava, this also carries the blood to the right atrium. So here it is, anterior vena cava, it brings deoxygenated blood from the anterior or upper part of the body, including head, chest and arm. The lower one is the posterior vena cava, which brings the blood from the posterior or the lower part known as abdomen and legs. Now we are going to study the blood vessels which leave the hearts. The blood vessel which leaves the heart are the pulmonary artery, which arises from the right ventricle and carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenator. And the second one is the aorta. This arises from the left ventricle and carries the oxygenated blood to supply for all parts of the body. Let's understand with the help of an image. Here you can see the red colored. Here you can see with the help of the red colored aorta. This is the blood vessel which is emerging out from the left ventricle. This blood vessel is coming from the right ventricle and it is emerging out within the heart. This comes from within the heart, and this red colored aorta, it is coming from the left ventricle and it is supplying the blood to all parts of the body. The second artery which is leaving the heart is this blue colored pulmonary artery. This is actually carrying the blood from the right ventricle of the heart internally, and it is emerging out from the upper position, and it carries the blood to the lungs for oxygenated, and this is of blue color. Actually, in our previous video, we have discussed that the blue color means deoxygenated blood in the diagram and the red color means oxygenated blood in the diagram. Moving on further, now let's talk about the coronary arteries. These are the arteries. The coronary arteries, the left and the right coronary artery arising from the base of the aorta, they emerge out from the aorta, and aorta carries the blood to all different parts of the body. These coronary arteries are emerging out from the aorta and they supply the blood to the heart muscles. Let us understand this with the help of a diagram. Here you can see with the help of the yellow cursor, these are the blood vessels which are transferring the blood to the muscles of the heart. These all are called coronary arteries, and these red colored blood vessels, they transfer the blood to the muscles of the heart, and these all arteries are called the coronary arteries. And the purpose of these coronary arteries is to give the supply to the heart muscles. If there is any blockage in this artery or in these arteries, then there is a deadening of the corresponding part of the heart of that particular muscle, and deadening of that particular muscle is called myocardial infarction. For example, you can see the circle encircled by the yellow cursor. If the coronary artery of this portion is blocked, or you can say if there is a blockage in the coronary artery of this part, then the part of the heart muscles which is surrounding this coronary artery will be now dead, and that muscle of the heart will not properly function. It means the patient may lead to the heart attack. In biology, it's given as the term known as myocardial infarction. And the pain which is occurring because of this deadening of the heart muscles, the pain is called angina pectoris. Here it is, the blockage in coronary artery, it will lead to the deadening of that corresponding area of the heart, and which leads to the heart attack. It is called myocardial infarction, and the pain which occurs in the chest during the heart attack is called angina pectoris. Here you have to understand that the heart is actually the just like a bank cashier, which means the heart is handling a lot of blood but cannot use that blood for itself. Only a little amount of blood is used by the heart for itself, and rest of the heart is transferring the blood to all parts of the body. Moving on further, let's study the different valves which regulates the flow of blood in the single direction of the heart. There are four valves in our heart, and the names are right atrioventricular valve. This valve is located at the aperture between the right auricle and the right ventricle. This valve is also called tricuspid valve. The reason behind is this valve is having thin three triangular leaf-like flaps or cusps. That is the reason it is called tricuspid valve. Let's understand with the help of the image. Here you can see with the help of the yellow cursor, this is right atria and this is right ventricle. And here is the valve which maintains the direction of the blood in one direction. This valve is called right atrioventricular valve and is also called tricuspid valve. And look very carefully with the help of the yellow cursor. This is the first flap. Now this is the second flap. Now this is the third flap. Because it is having three flaps, it is called tricuspid valve. These flaps, these flaps, they are stretched by these three muscle-like structures, and these are called chordae tendineae. I'll speak the name again, chordae tendineae. So these are the structures which holds these one, this is two, and this is three, which holds these three cups with the help of the papillary muscles. So this was the first valve which is present in between the right atria and the right ventricle, whose name is also known as tricuspid valve because it is having three flap-like structures, and these flap-like structures are being stretched and relaxed with the help of the cord called chordae tendineae and the papillary muscles. Moving on further, let's discuss the second valve, that is called left atrioventricular valve. This is having two cusps or flaps, and therefore it is called bicuspid valve. It is also known as mitral valve. Let's see in the diagram. So this is the left auricle, which is represented by the cursor. This is the right ventricle, which is represented by the circular motion of this cursor. And this is the valve in between the left atria and left ventricle, and it is called bicuspid valve. It is also called mitral valve. Now look here, this valve is having only two cusps. This is the first cusp, this is the second cusp. That is why it is called bicuspid. Again, they are opening and closing with the help of the structures called chordae tendineae and papillary muscles. Moving on further, let's discuss the third valve. Third valve is called pulmonary semilunar valve, and it is located at the opening of right ventricle into pulmonary artery. So, understanding with the help of diagram, here it is. The pulmonary semilunar valve. Here it is. You can see with the help of the yellow cursor. This valve allows only the blood to move further to the body parts, to the lungs, and it does not allows the blood to flow back. This also maintains the unidirectional of the blood flow, and it is called semilunar valve, or it is also called pulmonary semilunar valve. Moving on further, the fourth valve is aortic semilunar valve. It is located at the point of origin of aorta from the left ventricle. Understanding with the help of diagram, you can see with the help of cursor, you can see a very minute red colored valve present below the cursor, and it's called semilunar valve of aorta, which is also called aortic semilunar valve. And this valve does not allow the blood to come back into the left ventricle, and it makes a uniform directionality of the blood to the different parts of the body. So this valve, which helps in prevention of the flowing of the blood back into the left ventricle, is called semilunar valve. That's all for this video.